Summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates.
Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and... Oh, wrong way.
Lay your head. What's the wrong way?
Isn't it the other song?
No,
I'm singing
that's the
Lay Your
song.
Head Down and Dream.
Yeah, that's the song.
By accident.
That's the opening theme.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. The opening theme of the show is "Lay Your Head Down and Dream."
Of course it is. See? Bad brain so
The
far.
problem is when I kept slowing down to try to
sleepy
synchronize with you, and then you were like speeding up and then slowing down. See, we can't.
Already know this
we
is
know
going
we
to be
can't
a
sing at the same
shambles.
time on Discord. It doesn't work.
Yes.
But so if you want to sing it, I'll let you sing it. But
No, we're good. You take the lead on that one.
okay. So anyway, we got a few stream chats open. We got the Discord chat with Kindless, Asteri, Mailman Dave. Welcome, welcome. Howdy to Thingamabob MC in the Twitch chat, and Onion and Salem in the YouTube chat. Tonight we are reading Stave 2 of A Christmas Carol, which is being a ghost story in prose by Charles Dickens. No, it's A Christmas Carol in prose, being a ghost story of Christmas by Charles Dickens. I'm going to get the title right one of these days. They normally shorten it to A Christmas Carol or A Chris, but, you know, this is fine.
Right back 1 second.
Yes, that's fine. We aren't starting the show or anything. Bye. Okay. In the meantime, I should remind folks, we're doing rotational tips tonight. And tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Every dollar we get, the camera will rotate 1 degree angular. So there we go. Let's go ahead there.
You? Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Okay. So we are here in the not quite yet Christmas village on the Vault Hunter server, where apparently due to some sort of world gen problem, this poor house was generated without front and back walls.
What did you do?
It has a roof, but it doesn't. It wasn't done properly. So I had some candy cane blocks I brought the other day to try to get this right.
I do like those.
Yeah, these are very, very classic, very Christmas. But okay,
They also look kind of like warning blocks as well, though.
well, I mean, we want to have people take warning. I think that's crucial.
Of course.
It's not just for sailors anymore. But, you know, I was thinking maybe we put in some icing blocks here as a nice little doormat. And then, I don't know, we've got some gingerbread for the parts of the floor that are missing. That could be good. Maybe a little bit for up here, too. Although with a traditional gingerbread house, you would have, like, the icing. So I got some iced gingerbread blocks.
Nice,
to go in there. Well, that looks terrible, so we're going to switch that over to traditional gingerbread.
Okay, not nice, not nice.
Yeah, pulling that out. Also, we're going to pull these out because, yeah, I mean, that looks dumb now. I don't have a door for this fella yet, but you know what? Come back for Stave 3. Don't worry. We're making it happen. But, yeah,
nice.
that's something.
Nice little gingerbread house.
Got some
gingerbread and candy canes.
Gingerbread and candy canes. I don't know why, for some reason, these two parts of the wall are there. I think somebody might have vein mined this house when they needed logs.
Yeah.
They were just flying over and were like, oh, I need a workbench real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know
Might
if
have
it was
been that.
actually a world gen problem.
Because it doesn't look like a chunk error.
But this one's missing an oven. So I think somebody did come through here and just loot
someone's looted that.
this village. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
They pillaged the village.
No.
Oh no.
We can't have any village pillages.
Oh no.
It rhymes too much. But anyway, a lot of these places also have terrible floors. So maybe we come in.
There's no insulation at all. Like, the snow is really good for the insulation, and then you got just the bare ground.
Yeah, we're just going to gingerbread this floor real quick.
See? Beautiful.
Ta-da.
Ta-da!
For those of y'all who weren't here last night, myself, Gorin, and Kelly from the Pinball Mafia read Stave 1 of A Christmas Carol in Prose, Being a Ghost Story of Christmas by Samuel Clemens. Ah, just kidding, it was Charles Dickens! Haha! Another pen name of Mark Twain. But anyway, no, that's a... I wish I made that joke up. That was from Children's Hour of Knowledge. Anyway, we got 25 rolling in as a tip from Laura. Thank you very much, Laura. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this camera, which was at 120 degrees to 145. If you direct your attention up here to the upper... Is that the left? Yes, no. Upper left.
It's a map of your face.
It is a map of my face. It'll help you find my mouth, just in case you couldn't hear it. Now you can witness it visually. Some people are visual geographers, so I get it.
Hello.
Welcome, Mooney. Glad you could join us. From a format standpoint, I should note, once we start reading A Christmas Carol, we're going to probably not really be acknowledging tips too aggressively. We'll come... Yep. Like when there are certain like logical breaks in the story, we might recognize them. But for the most part, if you tip and you don't hear us mention it for 10 minutes because we're reading the book, that's what people are here for tonight. They're here for the book. There was a thing on Twitter the other day. Somebody was complaining about how like they would be watching a stream and in the middle of like a really dramatic cut scene where somebody's father passes away or something. You know, the streamer would be like, oh, wow, this is just...
And here's a message from
And thank you for the resub from Dome22. And it's like, well, as much as we love Dome22, we don't want to... That's not how we're doing our Christmas Carol. So, but yeah, if you are a Martian habitation dome, whether you're the first or the 22nd, you're going to have to wait your turn. We appreciate the support financially, but yeah, that's just not the show we're doing tonight.
Yeah, we're doing art.
Yes.
Art.
You could tell that it's autistic because of how many H's are in the pronunciation of art.
Yeah, I misheard that, and I was like, yeah, true, actually.
Yeah. So
it wasn't artistic.
It's gonna be very artistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's high art. So, here we go. We have in front of us Stave 2 of the original text of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Badger, you got your stuff all set up?
I do. I have coffee. I have a delicious beer that was very popular in the Victorian era.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool as well, which just happened to be my favorite beer that I got from the grocery store earlier. So.
Ooh, and what beer is that? Because I'm sure there were a lot of beers from the Victorian era, but
yeah. But this is a London Porter, and I'll read the blurb. A rich, dark beer packed with intense flavors of chocolate and spicy licorice. Ooh. This style of beer was very popular in London during the 18th century and can trace its roots back to 1720. It is brewed with charred malt and English hops to give a truly unique flavor. There you go.
There we go, indeed.
Made in London.
Yeah, meanwhile, I've got over here Sundrop and vodka because I'm saving the Sundrop and moonshine for New Year's.
That is totally valid.
But yeah, this is a chill holiday stream. This is the sort of thing, in terms of the production value and what you can expect, this is what we would consider like living room theater. This is a live reading of a book by people who have not really rehearsed it. I do this once a year, and that's it. So you could argue, well, Joe, you've read this book 3 times on stream now. That's kind of practicing. To which I would say, is it? But
It's only
yeah,
once a year, and like it doesn't really last that long either, because it's not exactly a long book either.
yeah. But what I mean is though, I'm not like
Hmm.
it's not the sort of thing where like, oh, we did 8 hours of rehearsals or anything.
Yeah, no, we literally just turn up and read it.
Yeah, and
That's it.
we want to encourage y'all to hang out with your friends and family, pick up a book
Yeah,
and take turns reading different parts or a play.
yeah.
This is something
I
my
have to say the only preparation I made for this
Mhm,
was I needed something to watch while I was wrapping Christmas presents
mhm.
earlier, so I watched the Muppet Christmas Carol,
Oh,
which is one of the truest tellings of the book.
yeah.
By far, everything else very much takes artistic license, and I would say the Muppets actually reads about 90% of the book.
I think a big part of that though is they had Gonzo narrating a lot of the
Yeah,
lines that Dickens
yeah,
originally wrote.
yeah,
Because this book was written for Dickens to read aloud in an auditorium too. Like he
yeah,
would do
very
live
much so.
readings of this book. And
Which
so
is
we're
very
kind of
cool.
doing that in this spirit. We picked a book that kind
Hmm.
of fits that sort of thing. So,
Salem says, "Oh, I need to get Sundrop as a mixer immediately." Well, it currently contains a chemical that, drunk in excess, can cause a lot of very nasty side
okay.
effects.
Well, I'm going to point out that alcohol contains a chemical, if drunk in excess, that will cause nasty side
Uh,
effects. So, I mean, maybe don't drink in
yeah,
excess in general.
yeah,
Like,
but
it would
I
be a
mean,
safe
like
recommendation.
2 normal like bottles of Sundrop a day can cause
I mean,
long-term effects.
4 liters of anything a day can cause a lot.
No, not 4 liters.
What do you
Like,
consider normal as a bottle size in the United Kingdom?
you know the like travel bottle ones that you get from the like gas store, gas place.
Like a
I can't remember what they're
propane
called.
tank?
It's the one between a can and then it's the next one up from a can. That size bottle, like what you would have like on the road.
Mm.
But yeah, brominated vegetable oil is very bad.
Mailman Dave suggests that might be a 2 ooze bottle. A
Uh,
twos bottle.
a Toes bottle, a
Gotcha.
20-ounce bottle.
Oh, is that what that is? I
Yeah.
thought it was a
Yeah, yeah,
double
yeah.
O.
In the UK, it would be 473 milliliters. Yeah,
Oh,
that's one.
oh, that's an easy to remember number of
Yeah.
milliliters.
See,
Yeah.
super hard. But yeah, Sundrop is great, but because I'm not used to it, it makes me very poorly.
Mhm,
So, and then I realized what was making me poorly, and
mhm.
my body was actually doing a good thing for me.
Yeah. So all
Anyway,
things in
enjoy your
moderation.
Sundrop and
All things in moderation this holiday
yeah,
season.
very much so.
So here we go. It sounds like we're both ready. It sounds like the
Yeah.
viewers at home have had a chance to pull up the Project Gutenberg file. I'll go
Oh
ahead
yeah.
and post that link one more time, and then we will jump right in. You can read along with this Project Gutenberg link. Boom. Which I'm going to
Come
check to
do a
make
better
actually
job than
doesn't
us.
404 this time. Yay, it doesn't 404 this time.
Yay!
Yay, we did it. Oh, and I guess
That was the thing.
the Discord chat can have the can have the Gutenberg link too. Normally, I don't post the same links in the Discord chat because most of the links are like, "Give me money,"
Give me
but like
money.
I'm like,
And
"Oh,
they
these
already
people already gave me money. I don't need to bother them." But okay,
yeah. But this
okay.
is a good link.
And we got Mr. Hardluck popping in the Discord chat. Howdy, Mr. Hardluck. Just as a reminder,
Hey.
Mr. Hardluck will be joining us to read Stave 3 tomorrow and performing the role of the Ghost of Christmas Present. But
Yay.
I think we've given everybody enough time to come in and get settled. I'm ready to rock and or roll with Stave 2. Sound good?
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
Stave 2 is entitled The First of the Three Spirits. When Scrooge awoke, it was so dark that looking out of bed, he could scarcely distinguish the transparent window from the opaque walls of his chamber. He was endeavoring to pierce the darkness with his ferret eyes when the chimes of a neighboring church struck the 4 quarters. So he listened for the hour. To his great astonishment, the heavy bell went on from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 8, and regularly up to 12, then stopped. 12. It was past 2 when he went to bed. The clock was wrong. An icicle must have gotten to the works. 12. He touched the spring of his repeater to correct this most preposterous clock. Its rapid little pulse beat 12 and stopped.
Why, it isn't possible that I can have slept through a whole day and far into another night. It isn't possible that anything has happened to the sun, and that this is 12 at noon.
The idea being an alarming one, he scrambled out of bed and groped his way to the window. He was obliged to rub the frost off with the sleeve of his dressing gown before he could see anything, and could see very little then. All he could make out was that it was still very foggy and extremely cold, and that there was no noise of people running to and fro and making a great stir, as there unquestionably would be if night had beaten off bright day and taken possession of the world. This was a great relief, because 3 days after sight of this first of exchange, pay to Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge or his order, and so forth, would have become a mere United States security if there were no days to count by. Scrooge went to bed again, and thought, and thought, and thought it over and over and over, and could make nothing of it. The more he thought, the more perplexed he was, and the more he endeavored not to think, the more he thought. Marley's ghost bothered him exceedingly. Every time he resolved within himself, after mature inquiry, that it was all a dream, his mind flew back again, like a strong spring released, to its first position, and presented the same problem to be worked all through. Was it a dream or not? Scrooge lay in this state until the chime had gone 3/4 more, when he remembered, on a sudden, that the ghost had warned him of a visitation when the bell tolled 1. He resolved to lie awake until the hour was past, and, considering that he could no more go to sleep than go to heaven, this was perhaps the wisest resolution in his power. The quarter was so long that he was more than once convinced he must have sunk into a doze unconsciously, and missed the clock. At length, it broke upon his listening ear. Ding dong. A quarter
past,
said Scrooge, counting. Ding dong.
1/2 past,
Ding dong.
1/4 to it.
Ding dong.
The hour itself,
said Scrooge triumphantly.
and nothing else.
He spoke before the hour bell sounded, which it now did, with a deep, dull, hollow melancholy. Light flashed up in the room upon the instant, and the curtains of his bed were drawn. The curtains of his bed were drawn aside, I tell you, by a hand. Not the curtains at his feet, nor the curtains at his back, but those to which his face was addressed. The curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge, starting up into a half-recumbent attitude, found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them, as close to it as I am now to you, and I am standing in the spirit at your elbow. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man, viewed through some supernatural medium, which gave him the appearance of having receded from the view and being diminished to a child's proportions. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white, as if with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it, and the tenderest bloom was on the skin. The arms were very long and muscular, the hands the same, as if its hold were of uncommon strength. Its legs and feet, most delicately formed, were like those upper members, bare. It wore a tunic of the purest white, and round its waist was bound a lustrous belt, the sheen of which was beautiful. It held a branch of fresh green holly in its hand, and, in singular contradiction of that wintry emblem, had its dress trimmed with summer flowers. But the strangest thing about it was that from the crown of its head there sprung a bright, clear jet of light, by which all this was visible, and which was doubtless the occasion of its using, in its duller moments, a great extinguisher for a cap, which it now held under its arm. Even this, though, when Scrooge looked at it with increasing steadiness, was not its strangest quality. For, as its belt sparkled and glittered now in one part, and now in another, and what was light one instant, at another time was dark, so the figure itself fluctuated in its distinctness, being now a thing with one arm, now with one leg, now with 20 legs, now a pair of legs without a head, now a head without a body, of which dissolving parts no outline would be visible in the dense gloom wherein they melted away. And, in the very wonder of this, it would itself be itself again, distinct and clear as ever.
Are you the spirit, sir, whose foretelling was foretold to me?
I am.
The voice was soft and gentle, singularly low, as if, instead of being so close beside him, it were at a distance.
Who and, what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
Inquired Scrooge, observant of its dwarfish stature.
No, your past.
Perhaps Scrooge could not have told anybody why, if anybody could have asked him, but he had a special desire to see the spirit in his cap, and begged him to be covered.
What? Would you so soon put out with worldly hands the light I give? Is it not enough that you are one of those whose passions made this cap, and force me through whole trains of years to wear it low upon my brow?
Scrooge reverently disclaimed all intention to offend, or any knowledge of having wilfully bonneted the spirit at any period of his life. He then made bold to inquire what business brought him there.
Your welfare.
Scrooge expressed himself much obliged, but could not help thinking that a night of unbroken rest would have been more conducive to that end. The spirit must have heard him thinking, for it said immediately,
Your reclamation, then. Take heed.
It put out its strong hand as it spoke, and clasped him gently by the arm.
Rise and walk with me.
It would have been in vain for Scrooge to plead that the weather and the hour were not adapted to pedestrian purposes. That bed was warm, and the thermometer a long way below freezing. That he was clad but lightly in his slippers, dressing gown, and nightcap, and that he had a cold upon him at that time. The grasp, though gentle as a woman's hand, was not to be resisted. He rose, but, finding that the spirit made toward the window, clasped his robe in supplication.
I'm a mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand. There,
said the spirit, laying it upon his heart.
and you shall be upheld in more than this.
As the words were spoken, they passed through the wall and stood upon an open country road with fields on either hand. The city had entirely vanished. Not a vestige of it was to be seen. The darkness and the mist had vanished with it, for it was a clear, cold winter day with snow upon the ground.
Good heaven,
said Scrooge, clasping his hands together as he looked about him.
I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
The spirit gazed upon him mildly. Its gentle touch, though it had been light and instantaneous, appeared still present to the old man's sense of feeling. He was conscious of 1,000 odors floating in the air, each one connected with 1,000 thoughts and hopes and joys and cares, long, long forgotten.
Your lip is trembling. And what is that upon your cheek?
Scrooge muttered, and, with an unusual catching in his voice, said that it was a pimple, and begged the ghost to lead him where he would.
You recollect the way?
Remember it. I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years. Let us go on.
They walked along the road, Scrooge recognizing every gate and post and tree, until a little market town appeared in the distance, with its bridge, its church, and winding river. Some shaggy ponies now were seen trotting toward them, with boys upon their backs, who called to other boys in country gigs and carts driven by farmers. All these boys were in great spirits, and shouted to each other until the broad fields were so full of merry music that the crisp air laughed to hear it.
These are but shadows of the things that have been. They have no consciousness of us.
The jocund travelers came on, and, as they came, Scrooge knew and named them every one. Why was he rejoiced beyond all bounds to see them? Why did his cold eye glisten and his heart leap up as they went past? Why was he filled with gladness when he heard them give each other Merry Christmas as they parted at crossroads and byways for their several homes? What was Merry Christmas to Scrooge? Out upon Merry Christmas, what good had it ever done him?
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Scrooge said he knew it, and he sobbed. They left the high road by a well-remembered lane and soon approached a mansion of dull red brick with a little weathercock-surmounted cupola on the roof and a bell hanging in it. It was a large house, but one of broken fortunes, for the spacious offices were little used, their walls were damp and mossy, their windows broken, and their gates decayed. Fowls clucked and strutted in the stables, and the coach houses and sheds were overrun with grass. Nor was it more retentive of its ancient state within, for, entering the dreary hall and glancing through the open doors of many rooms, they found them poorly furnished, cold, and vast. There was an earthly savor in the air, a chilly bareness in the place, which associated itself somehow with too much getting up by candlelight, and not too much to eat. They went, the ghost and Scrooge, across the hall to a door at the back of the house. It opened before them and disclosed a long, bare, melancholy room, made bare still by lines of plain deal forms and desks. At one of these, a lonely boy was reading near a feeble fire, and Scrooge sat down upon a form and wept to see his poor, forgotten self as he used to be. Not a latent echo in the house, not a squeak and scuffle from the mice behind the paneling, not a drip from the half-thawed waterspout in the dull yard behind, not a sigh among the leafless boughs of one despondent poplar, not the idle swinging of an empty storehouse door, no, not a clicking in the fire, but fell upon the heart of Scrooge with a softening influence, and gave a freer passage to his cheers. The spirit touched him on the arm, and pointed to his younger self, intent upon his reading. Suddenly, a man in foreign garments, wonderfully real and distinct to look at, stood outside the window, with an axe stuck in his belt, and, leading by the bridle, an ass laden with wood.
"Why, it's Ali Baba! It's dear old honest Ali Baba. Yes, yes, I know. One Christmas time, then yonder solitary child was left here all alone. He did come for the first time, just like that. Poor boy. And Valentine, and his wild brother Orson, there they go. And what's his name, who was put down in his drawers, asleep, at the gate of Damascus. Don't you see him? And the Sultan's groom, turned upside down by the genie. There he is upon his head. Serve him right. I am glad of it. What business had he to be married to the princess?"
To hear Scrooge expending all the earnestness of his nature on such subjects, in a most extraordinary voice, between laughing and crying, and to see his heightened and excited face, would have been a surprise to his business friends in the city indeed.
"There's the parrot, green body and yellow tail, with a thing like lettuce growing out the top of his head. There he is. Poor Robinson Crusoe, he called him, when he came home after sailing round the island. Poor Robinson Crusoe. Where have you been, Robin Crusoe?" The man thought he was dreaming, but he wasn't. It was the parrot, you know. There goes Friday, running for his life to the little creek. Hello, hoop, hello!
Then, with a rapidity of transition very foreign to his usual character, he said, in pity for his former self,
"Poor boy,"
and cried again.
"I wish,"
Scrooge muttered, putting his hand in his pocket and looking about him, after drying his eyes with his cuff.
"But it's too late now."
What is the matter?
"Nothing, nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should have given him something, that's all."
The ghost smiled thoughtfully and waved its hand, saying as it did so,
Let us see another Christmas.
Scrooge's former self grew larger at the words, and the room became a little darker and more dirty. The panels shrunk, the windows cracked, fragments of plaster fell out of the ceiling, and the naked laths were shown instead. But how all this was brought about, Scrooge knew no more than you do. He only knew that it was quite correct, that everything had happened so, that there he was, alone again, when all the other boys had gone home for the jolly holidays. He was not reading now, but walking up and down despairingly. Scrooge looked at the ghost, and, with a mournful shaking of his head, glanced anxiously toward the door. It opened, and a little girl, much younger than the boy, came darting in, and putting her arms around his neck and often kissing him, addressed him as her
Dear, dear brother, I have come to bring you home, dear brother.
said the child, clapping her tiny hands and bending down to laugh.
To bring you home.
Home, little Fran,
Yes.
said the child, brimful of glee.
Home for good and all. Home for ever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. That home's like heaven. He spoke to me so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed, that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in a coach to bring you. And you're to be a man,
said the child, opening her eyes.
and are never to come back here. But first, we're to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in all the world.
you're quite a woman, little Fan.
She clapped her hands and laughed and tried to touch his head, but being too little, laughed again and stood on tiptoe to embrace him. Then she began to drag him, in her childish eagerness, toward the door, and he, nothing loth to go, accompanied her. A terrible voice in the hall cried, "Bring down Master Scrooge's box there." And in the hall appeared the schoolmaster himself, who glared on Master Scrooge with a ferocious condescension, and threw him into a dreadful state of mind by shaking hands with him. He then conveyed him and his sister into the veriest old well of a shivering best parlor that ever was seen, where the maps upon the wall and the celestial and terrestrial globes in the windows were waxy with cold. Here he produced a decanter of curiously light wine and a block of curiously heavy cake, and administered installments of those dainties to the young people, at the same time sending out a meager servant to offer a glass of something to the postboy, who answered that he thanked the gentleman, but if it was the same tap as he had tasted before, he had rather not. Master Scrooge's trunk being by this time tied on to the top of the chaise, the children bade the schoolmaster good-bye right willingly, and, getting down to it, drove gaily down the garden sweep, the quick wheels dashing the hoar-frost and snow from off the dark leaves of the evergreens like spray.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered. But she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right. I will not gainsay it. Spirit, God forbid.
She died a woman, and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True, your nephew.
Scrooge seemed uneasy in his mind, and answered briefly,
Yes.
Although they had but that moment left the school behind them, they were now in the busy thoroughfares of a city, where shadowy passengers passed and repassed, where shadowy carts and coaches battled for the way, and all the strife and tumult of a real city were. It was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here, too, it was Christmas time again. But it was evening, and the streets were lighted up. So let's take a quick break. Badger, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm really glad you're here, reading the parts of Fen and the Ghost of Christmas Past. Folks are saying, are you reading the book? What's going on? We are reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. The original text, I posted the Project Gutenberg link there for anybody who's just joining us. And I also wanted to say thank you while we were reading. We got a tip rolling in from Lakshmi13, Daker13, Eagle, and Caliphant, who say, Joe, Badger, and Corinne, happy holidays to your family from ours, and tip an even 100. So let's go ahead and roll that camera from 145 degrees to 245 degrees. Do-do-do-do. So thank you very much to the 13 family. I don't know if that's their actual last name, but based on the fact that Lakshmi13 and Daker13 both have that in there, you know, and of course the children have to earn a last name. Like, we don't let children just have last names anymore. What do you think this
Of
is?
course.
No, yeah. So you can tell which ones are the kids because they haven't earned their number yet. You'll be a 13 one day. Oh boy. Okay, but yeah. So I don't know. I feel like there's a whole rabbit hole we could go down with like last names as numbers. Like there's that Seven of lady from Star Trek Voyager from the Nine family.
From the Nine Dynasty, yes.
Yeah, everybody said her mom was a 9 and her dad was a 9, and that's why they were so well matched.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she was only a 7.
Lakshmi 13 says, "Love it. They have to earn it."
Yeah, kids, get on it.
You have to earn your number.
Yeah, you know, I've been joking all these years that Stephen King's son chose the name Joe Hill. But you know what? Maybe Stephen King says, "You're not gonna be a king till I'm dead." You come at the king, you best not miss. But anyway, I don't. Anyway, yeah. So we are reading A Christmas Carol. Yeah, he could have been Joe Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
That actually would have been too clever by half, unfortunately. But yeah, welcome everyone who's coming in, joining us for A Christmas Carol. Last night we had Goran and Kelly help me read Stave 1, which is kind of the introduction and Marley's Ghost. Tonight we're reading The Ghost of Christmas Past with BadgerSpanner, my fantastic fiance. Tomorrow night, we've got Mr. Hardluck joining us at 8:30 U.S. Central Time to read The Ghost of Christmas Present. And then I will be handling The Ghost of Christmas Future solo on Christmas Eve because The Ghost of Christmas Future doesn't really have a lot of lines. And bringing somebody in here to point at me on Christmas Eve and then point at a grave really didn't seem like a great use of anyone's time.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Mahis Zero says, looks at his username.
Oh
no. And also, Introverted Kid 534 says it might be short for King of the Hill.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Meg Song 24.
24th of their name.
Yeah. Cub fan 135th of his name. I think that was one of my favorite Ren Dog things was he kept saying is Scal 85th of his name. I had so much fun this season on Hovercraft.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice to get to just hang out and have a chill Christmas Carol at the end of the year. Hanging out with friends and future family. I don't know if fiancés count as family yet.
Yeah, oh well.
Yeah, soon.
Soon, Iago. Patience, Iago.
Oh boy. So we have just had Scrooge and the Ghost of Christmas Past set down back in the city. And so I'm going to reread the last line before we cut to bring it back in for folks. Yep. So here we go. Casey Squared says, does squared count? I mean, you could be to the power of 2.
There you go.
The power of 2.
It's the power of 2.
Excuse me. The Caseyeth of your name. Welcome, Spring. Glad you could join us.
Yep.
All right. So here we go. It was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here, too, it was Christmas time again. But it was evening, and the streets were lighted up. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it. Know it?
Was I apprenticed here?
They went in. At the sight of an old gentleman in a Welsh wig sitting behind such a high desk that if it had been 2 inches taller, he must have knocked his head against the ceiling, Scrooge cried in great excitement,
Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, it's Fezziwig alive again.
Old Fezziwig laid down his pen and looked up at the clock, which pointed to the hour of 7. He rubbed his hands, adjusted his capacious waistcoat, laughed all over himself, from his shoes to his organ of benevolence, and called out in a comfortable, oily, rich, fat, jovial voice,
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer, Dick.
Scrooge's former self, now grown as a young man, came briskly in, accompanied by his fellow apprentice.
Dick Wilkins, to be sure. Bless me, yes, there he is. He was very much attached to me, was Dick. Poor Dick, dear, dear.
Yo-ho, my boys. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up,
cried old Fezziwig, with a sharp clap of his hands,
before a man can say Jack Robinson.
You wouldn't believe how those two fellows went at it. They charged into the street with the shutters. 1, 2, 3, had 'em up in their place. 4, 5, 6, barred 'em, pinned 'em. 7, 8, 9, came back before you could have got to 12, panting like race horses.
Hilly-ho!
Cried old Fezziwig, skipping down from the high desk with wonderful agility.
Clear away, my lads. Let's have lots of room here. Hilly-ho, Dick. Cheer up, Ebenezer.
Clear away. There was nothing they couldn't have cleared away or wouldn't have cleared away with old Fezziwig looking on. It was done in a minute. Every movable was packed off, as if it was dismissed from public life forevermore. The floor was swept and watered, the lamps were trimmed, fuel was heaped upon the fire, and the warehouse was as snug and warm and dry and bright as a ballroom, as you would desire to see upon a winter's night. In came a fiddler with a music book and went up to the lofty desk and made an orchestra of it and tuned like 50 stomach aches. In came Mrs. Fezziwig, one vast, substantial smile. In came the 3 Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In came the 6 young followers whose hearts they broke. In came all the young men and women employed in the business. In came the housemaid with her cousin, the baker. In came the cook with her brother's particular friend, the milkman. In came the boy from over the way, who was suspected of not having board enough from his master, trying to hide himself behind the girl from next door but one, who was proved to have had her ears pulled by her mistress. In they all came, one after another, some shyly, some boldly, some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing, some pulling. In they all came, anyhow and everyhow. Away they all went, 20 couple at once, hands half round and back again the other way, down the middle and up again, round and round, in various stages of affectionate grouping. Old top couple always turning up in the wrong place, new top couple starting off again as soon as they got there, all top couples at last, and not a bottom one to help 'em. When this result was brought about, old Fezziwig, clapping his hands to stop the dance, cried out,
Well done!
and the fiddler plunged his hot face into a pot of porter, especially provided for that purpose. But, scorning rest, upon his reappearance, he instantly began again, though there were no dancers yet, as if the other fiddler had been carried home, exhausted on a shutter, and he were a brand new man, resolved to beat him out of sight or perish. There were more dances, and there were forfeits, and more dances, and there was cake and negus. There was a great piece of cold roast, and there was a great piece of cold boiled, and there were mince pies and plenty of beer. But the great effect of the evening came after the roast and boiled, when the fiddler, an artful dog, mind, the sort of man who knew his business better than you or I could have told it to him, struck up Sir Roger de Coverley. Then old Fezziwig stood out to dance with Mrs. Fezziwig. Top couple, too, with a good stiff piece of work cut out for them. 3 or 4 and 20 pair of partners, people who were not to be trifled with, people who would dance, and had no notion of walking. But if they had been twice as many, 4 times, old Fezziwig would have been a match for them, and so would Mrs. Fezziwig. As to her, she was worthy to be his partner in every sense of the term. If that's not high praise, tell me higher. I'll use it. A positive light appeared to issue from Fezziwig's calves. They shone in every part of the dance, like moons. You couldn't have predicted, at any given time, what would have become of them next. And when old Fezziwig and Mrs. Fezziwig had gone through all the dance, advance, and retire, both hands to your partner, bow and curtsy, corkscrew, thread the needle, back again to your place, Fezziwig cut so deftly that he appeared to wink with his legs, and came upon his feet again without a stagger.
Are you gonna go?
When the clock struck 11, this domestic ball broke up. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig took their stations, one on either side of the door, and, shaking hands with every person individually as he or she went out, wished him or her a Merry Christmas. When everyone had retired but the 2 prentices, they did the same to them, and thus the cheerful voices died away, and the lads were left to their beds, which were under a counter in the back shop. During the whole of this time, Scrooge had acted like a man out of his wits. His heart and soul were in the scene, and with his former self. He corroborated everything, remembered everything, enjoyed everything, and underwent the strangest agitation. It was not until now, when the bright faces of his former self and Dick were turned from them, that he remembered the ghost, and became conscious that it was looking full upon him, while the light upon its head burnt very clear.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small,
echoed Scrooge. The spirit signed to him to listen to the 2 apprentices, who were pouring out their hearts in praise of Fezziwig, and, when he had done so, said,
Why is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
it isn't that.
said Scrooge, heated by the remark, and speaking unconsciously like his former, not his latter self.
It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. Say that his power lies in words and looks, in things so slight and insignificant that it is impossible to add and count 'em up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
He felt the spirit's glance and stopped.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No, I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all.
His former self turned down the lamps as he gave utterance to the wish, and Scrooge and the ghost again stood side by side in the open air.
My time grows short. Quick.
This was not addressed to Scrooge, or to anyone else whom he could immediately see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again, Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of his life. His face had not the harsh and rigid lines of later years, but it had begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye, which showed the passion that had taken root, and where the shadow of the growing tree would fall. He was not alone, but sat by the side of a fair young girl in a mourning dress, in whose eyes there were tears, which sparkled in the light that shone out of the ghost of Christmas past.
It matters little. To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me. And, if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on it which is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. I have seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I'm not changed toward you.
She shook her head.
Am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you are not what you are. I am that which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly have I thought of this? I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it, and I can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life, another hope at its great end, in everything that has made my love of any worth or value in your sight, if this had never been between us,
Said the girl, looking mildly, but with steadiness upon him.
Tell me, would you seek me out to try and win me now? Ah, no.
He seemed to yield to the justice of this supposition, in spite of himself. But he said, with a struggle,
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could. Heaven knows when I learned the truth like this, I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can even believe that you would choose a dowerless girl, you who, in your very confidence with her, weigh everything by gain, or choosing her, if for a moment you were false enough for your one guiding principle to do so. I do not know that your repentance would regret and surely follow. I do, and release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were.
He was about to speak, but with her head turned from him, she resumed.
You may, the memory of what is past half, makes us hope you will have pain in this. A very, very brief time, and you will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened that you awoke. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
She left him, and they parted.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more. No more. I don't wish to see it. Show me no more.
But the relentless ghost pinioned him in both his arms and forced him to observe what happened next. They were in another scene and place. A room not very large or handsome, but full of comfort. Near to the winter fire sat a beautiful young girl, so like the last that Scrooge believed it was the same, until he saw her, now a comely matron, sitting opposite her daughter. The noise in this room was perfectly tumultuous, for there were more children there than Scrooge in his agitated state of mind could count. And, unlike the celebrated herd in the poem, they were not 40 children conducting themselves like one, but every child was conducting itself like 40. The consequences were uproarious beyond belief, but no one seemed to care. On the contrary, the mother and daughter laughed heartily and enjoyed it very much, and the latter, soon beginning to mingle in with the sports, got pillaged by the young brigands most ruthlessly. What would I not have given to be one of them? Though I could never be so rude. No, no. I wouldn't for the wealth of all the world have crushed that braided hair and torn it down for the precious little shoe. I wouldn't have plucked it off. God bless my soul. No, to save my life. As to measuring her waist in sport as they did, bold young brood, I could not have done it. I should have expected my arm to have grown round it for a punishment, and never come straight again. And yet I should have dearly liked, I own, to have touched her lips, to have questioned her, that she might have opened them, to have looked upon the lashes of her downcast eyes and never raised a blush, to have let loose waves of hair, an inch of which would be a keepsake beyond price. In short, I should have liked, I do confess, to have had the lightest license of a child, and yet have been man enough to know its value. But now a knocking at the door was heard, and such a rush immediately ensued that she, with laughing face and plundered dress, was borne toward it, the center of a flushed and boisterous group, just in time to greet the father, who came home attended by a man laden with Christmas toys and presents. Then the shouting and the struggling and the onslaught that was made on the defenseless porter, the scaling him with chairs for ladders to dive into his pockets to spoil him of brown paper parcels, hold on tight by his cravat, hug him around the neck, pommel his back, and kick his legs in irrepressible affection, the shouts of wonder and delight with which the development of every package was received, the terrible announcement that the baby had taken in the act of putting a doll's frying pan into his mouth, and was more than suspected of having swallowed a fictitious turkey glued on a wooden platter. The immediate relief of finding that this was a false alarm, the joy and gratitude and ecstasy. They are all indescribable alike. It is enough that by degrees the children and their emotions got out of the parlor, and by one stair at a time, up to the top of the house, where they went to bed and subsided. And now Scrooge looked on more attentively than ever, when the master of the house, having his daughter leaning fondly on him, sat down with her and her mother at his own fireside, and when he thought that such another creature, quite as graceful and as full of promise, might have called him father, and been a springtime in the haggard winter of his life, his sight grew very dim indeed. "Belle," said the husband, turning to his wife with a smile, "I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon."
Who was it?
Gas.
How can I? I don't know. Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge it was. I passed his office window, and as it was not shut up, and he had a candle inside, I could scarcely help seeing him. His partner lies upon the point of death, I hear, and there he sat alone, quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Spirit, remove me from this place.
I told you these were the shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Remove me. I cannot bear it.
He turned upon the ghost, and seeing that it looked upon him with a face in which, in some strange way, there were fragments of all the faces it showed him, wrestled with it.
Leave me! Take me back! Haunt me no longer!
In the struggle, if that can be called a struggle, in which the ghost, with no visible resistance on its own part, was undisturbed by any effort of his adversary, Scrooge observed that its light was a burning high and bright, and dimly connecting that with its influence over him, he seized the extinguisher cap, and, by a sudden action, pressed it down upon its head. The spirit dropped beneath it, so that the extinguisher covered its whole form. But though Scrooge pressed it down with all his force, he could not hide the light which streamed from under it in an unbroken flood upon the ground. He was conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness, and further, of being in his own bedroom. He gave the cap a parting squeeze, in which his hand relaxed, and had barely time to reel to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep. And thus concludes Stave 2 of A Christmas Carol in Prose, being a ghost story of Christmas by Charles Dickens.
Woo!
Whew. Thank you so much,
Did it.
Badger. Fantastic fan, fantastic Bell, and a fantastic spirit.
Yay.
Phantasmic spirit.
Phantasmic. Oh my god, it was phantasmic.
Oh my god, I love when you were the ghost and you were like, don't put
God.
that on my head. I don't know. I just got this
my
light
head.
done. I don't need
Like,
no.
oh my gosh.
Everybody's putting this cap on my head all the time, and now you're coming.
I knew it.
You're
I
coming
knew
in here.
that it
It's
was
the day before Christmas. It's after 1, and you want to put this hat on my head. What you doing?
like I knew it was a mistake to be carrying that cap around with me the whole time. I knew it.
The thing is, though, you let it out of your sight, and then you don't know where it is, and that's even worse in some ways because you're looking
know,
behind you
'cause
all the
then you
time.
can't
Like,
go
is
to
it
bed at
back
night.
there?
And then you can't go to bed at night. You're like, where's my cap? Where's my extinguisher? I gotta extinguish this, like, light out of my head. Well, because people just won't be able to sleep around me. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's a great song by Jock Slade, I think, called Nightcap. Have you ever heard this song, Badger?
No.
It's like,
All my boys and all my peeps, yeah. All my boys and all my peeps, yeah. All my boys and all my peeps like to wear nightcaps when they go to sleep. I like the nighttime, especially when I'm going to sleep. Got my milk and my cookies, all types of treats. Mama kiss me good night, tuck me in just right. And don't forget to turn on my Scooby bright light. Unibody PJs, footsies out. Squeeze my favorite blankie before I knock out. Off to see the Sandman in my dreamland where I'm the king and the world's in my hand. So, all my boys and all my peeps, yeah. All my boys and all my peeps, yeah. All my boys and all my peeps like to wear nightcaps when they go to sleep. At the end of the day, when it's time for bed, I put a special kind of hat on the top of my head. Legitimate, double knit with a ball on top. It's like 1900 when my eyelids drop. Wool dyed like a bubble pole, red and white. I'm gonna sleep like an old-timey dude tonight. Snoring and whistling, human cartoon. Law getting sawed in a thought balloon. So, all my boys and all my peeps, yeah. All my boys and all my peeps, yeah. All my boys and all my peeps like to wear nightcaps when they go to sleep. Now I lay me down for keeps. My duvet is thick, my box spring is deep. I rotate my mattress like every week. I like to wear nightcaps when I go to sleep.
It's a very silly song from because so Jock Slade plays a character in Community who, whenever they need like background music for something, or like not even background music, but like when there's like a party or something, like he's just kind of a background character who's always like coming up with these dumb raps. But but yeah, he's the one who comes in when Senior Chang fakes his own death. Who's got the boombox? It's like, I am Senior Chang and I cannot die. You know that one. But yeah, it's just the Community soundtrack has a bunch of great raps by this guy, which are just completely silly as hell. But I love them.
Love it.
Nope Queen says, my sister says you sound like an off-brand Lin-Manuel Miranda. Hold on.
So does Lin-Manuel Miranda these days.
You could call me Lin-Manuel off-Branda.
Hey.
Does that work? Yeah.
Beautiful.
But yeah, Salem saying Badger's voices are incredible. Meg Song says, Badger, you're amazing. Aww. Thanks for joining. Yay. Yeah. Yeah, Quinn and I were gonna try and do like a musical Christmas thing the other day, but then like because the songs were like the tipping things, we ended up not doing them.
Oh no.
But yeah, it was just like we got done and Quinn's like, oh, we forgot to do music. It's like, whoops.
Oops. Musical guest Quinn Hills. Oops. We forgot to do music.
Well, because we were really into the TCG.
Yeah, you were doing your game stuff,
Yeah. It's like, okay, we'll come back to the music when people tip. It's like, whoops, we did not do that. Womp womp.
Womp. Womp womp womp.
Okay.
Back to the base.
Yes. So I am back at the base here where we are growing more sugar so we can grow
candy cane blocks.
Candy cane blocks. We're gonna have to add some of those. Nope Queen says, my sister says it's an honor to talk to you. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, but like almost no one feels that way. That's I'm not as impressive as you might think.
You're impressive enough for me to want to marry you.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm not going to talk you out of that. So I am done making this argument one way or the other. Let's go. I know when to shut up, and this is it.
You're impressive enough for me to want to like move internationally to get married to you.
Yeah, I'll take it.
There you go. I don't think that's gonna be talked out of pretty soon.
Yeah,
so, you know.
I really liked because in the previous year I don't think you did Belle's voice last time we did this.
No, I don't think we did.
Which was like an oversight, and so I really liked your kind of more I was gonna say rural accent, but it's not a rural accent.
London.
It's like a city, but it's like a more poor Cockney accent. Yeah, very good.
Hooray!
Oh, yeah, that was.
So I was just like, what voices am I going to do for this? Because I've got a little girl voice.
Yeah.
Because I actually went through the parts before.
Which is more preparation than I did?
Yeah, like in the past, I knew I was like, there's something I forgot, and it's not just gonna be like the ghost of Christmas Past in this one. I was like, there's quite a few kind of femme sounding voices, and I was like, okay, have a look. And then I was like, little fan, okay, yep. I'm gonna do her as a girly voice.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Because she's notably very short. And a child.
She's so little. She's so tiny.
Hey, Craig, thank you for tipping 50. Who says, more Merry Christmas, Joe. Enjoying your streams. I'm so glad. We're going to go ahead and rotate the camera now from 245 to 295. Thank you, Craig, for the 50. Do.
Yeah, it was really funny when we started. I was just getting comfortable and about to start the first bit of the ghost stuff, and my cat decided that she was going to sit on my lap and then sit on the keyboard and then walked across the whole table.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
always
just
great
like,
with the...
yes, cat's going to cat.
Yes, with the beer and the microphone right there,
Yep.
easily tipped into each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, babe.
Good job, Kit.
Yep. Now she's asleep somewhere in my room. Don't know where. I can hear her snoring, so that's good.
That's probably for the best then.
How is Christmas Carol going? Says Charis Cookie.
We just
have
wrapped
just
up.
finished Stave 2.
Yeah, we just finished Stave 2. Salem, have fun decorating your tree with Hal and Cave. You're welcome for a lovely Stave 2. I had so much fun. I feel like we're getting faster at this somehow. I feel like in the previous years, I was taking a lot more breaks in the middle. Like maybe I just didn't have the concentration. All that Dracula we read in the last... Wait, was Dracula this year? Or did we finish Dracula last year?
Technically, I think we finished it last year.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting better at this. I'm getting more confident. And then we're just...
I think we finished it before Christmas last year.
Yeah, but I don't think like I don't feel like I'm rushing through the text, but like we're just I'm taking fewer breaks.
Don't forget it is like surprisingly a very short story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
But yeah. And the reading out of the proper like narration slows it down a little. So that's good.
Yeah, I need to go get I don't know how to I need to make Wotodic masses so I can Oh, and then I also need I need to get chromatic steel. This is
fun times.
Yeah, it's just like I
your
guess I'm
guest
just playing Vault
star-
Hunters now since we're an hour ahead of schedule.
Your guest star tomorrow
Is
said,
Mr.
between
Hardlock.
working in the morning and baking cookies in the afternoon, I hope I can squeeze in a nap before showtime tomorrow, says Hardlock.
Yeah.
Yay! Hope you can fit a nap in too.
Yeah,
I want to bake cookies.
Well, you know, we actually have like a functional kitchen when you get here.
Yay!
Yay.
That's more than I have here.
That'll be nice.
Aww. Luxme13 says, good night and merry happy Christmas, Joe and Badger. Thank you for
thank
this.
you.
Gestures to the stream, the community, the entertainment, the art, etc.
Yeah, glad
Thank
you
you
could join
for
us.
being here, Luxme13.
Yeah, this is so fun to do every year. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. It is a lot more fun in person. I have to say.
Oh, like when you're actually sitting next to me?
Yeah, we can do all the silly kind of sound effects and stuff and elbow each other when we miss things. And
Yeah, I realized you couldn't see me hitting the bell to 11 on Fezziwigs.
yeah,
Because you're like
no, I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, because it was the stream was
Yeah.
delayed. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like,
Sorry
oh,
about that.
I understand. No, I understood what was going on. So it was fine. That was
Yeah.
good fun.
I need to grab some torches. I've managed to run out of chromatic iron somehow.
What?
I know, right?
It's almost integral to the entire mod pack.
I know, right?
It's like
Also-
running out of andesite for create mod.
Yeah, also somehow, like, I know I have a bunch of torches somewhere. Don't know where. No idea where they went. Oh, I know where they are. They're in the green box.
The green box.
Yay, okay. Cool. Now I'm ready to go get stuff done. By which I mean I'm just gonna pick a direction. Does anybody remember what Y level you're supposed to mine at for for chromatic
For
iron?
chromatic iron,
Is
it's
it
pretty low.
Is it negative 40 or 40? I feel like it's like one of those. It's
It's
not all the way at
negative.
negative 60, I don't think.
No, but it's definitely negative. It's like
Okay.
negative 40 something.
Yeah.
And I know that from you guys playing rather than me playing.
Well, yeah, I just can't keep any information in my brain at
Yeah.
any time. That's just not one of my strong
It's valid.
suits.
It's valid. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Just so many mod packs to learn as well on this. But it is way more intuitive because you get to do one at a time. Basically, you have to earn it. Below minus 30, it says Dark Witchcraft. Chromatic iron is evenly distributed on the bottom 60 Y levels.
Well, I don't know what the bottom. Where does the bottom 60 Y levels start at, though?
Well, that would be from 0.
No, because does it go down to negative 90 or does it go down to negative 60?
I think it's the same as vanilla, and it goes down to negative 60.
Oh, well, I was gonna say I don't know what that is in vanilla, but okay, so it's negative 60 in vanilla. Okay,
58, yeah.
cool. That's probably the same here.
But yeah, I'd start like around just a bit above bedrock, basically. Yay!
Okay, so what is my Y level now? 19.
Yeah, I was
Negative
gonna say you
18.
might need to eat.
I'm eating.
Oh, apparently the cat I thought was asleep somewhere in my room is wide awake, and it was the other cat that was asleep.
Ah, interesting.
Aha!
Very sneaky.
Very sneaky kitty.
Oh, that's the wrong one. I want to go. I'm just gonna start mining and hope that I hit chromatic iron.
Yeah.
Because
Let's do a strip mine.
everything else, like I've tried everything else, and it seems like basically the trick is just mine for 6 hours and then find a stupid amount, and then people go like, "Wow, you found the same amount I would have found on average, but just in like one burst
one
after
chunk,
6 hours." Like most people would do this for 6 hours and just find small amounts throughout, but you just find 0 forever, and then somehow
and
luck
then
into a huge
suddenly
vein.
300 or something. Yeah.
And I think it might have something to do with the biomes I'm in or something, but I can't prove it one way or the other. So I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, because you tend to be in like extreme hills, mountains kind of thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't know. Fair enough.
Yeah, and somehow...
Yeah, I've just realised it is currently 10 minutes to 4 in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah, I was going to say thank you very much for joining us, despite it being very late UK time.
I was like, oh, I have fewer neighbours than usual right now, but I'm like, it is 4 o'clock, and I was sitting there going, why am I tired? And I just want to like curl up in bed and watch the rest of the stream.
Why am
Now
I so
know
tired
why.
at 4 in the morning? It's a mystery
Why
to everyone.
would you be tired at 4 a.m.
Oh.
What?
Slacker.
I know. And I was like, why does the cat want me to go to bed? Because she's literally like sitting in the middle of my bed staring at me.
Like, why aren't you over here?
Why aren't you here? Why
It's-
aren't you
this
here
is where you're
giving me
supposed to be
cuddles?
here.
This is where we're meant to be at this time at night.
Aw. Well, thank you again, Badger, for joining me. Yeah, I'm going to probably just hang out for a little bit. I'm not going to necessarily run the stream forever, but I do want to grab some more chromatic iron, so I might as well do some mining now. So, yeah, thank you again, and I hope you have a fantastic evening.
See you next time next year.
Yeah, so the only
Hopefully
time
in
we ever
person.
talk is Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be happy to join in next year, hopefully in person.
Oh, it better
So
be.
that's cool. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. It'll be
Alrighty.
awesome. Anyway,
Sleep well, Badger.
have a great stream. Bye, guys.
Ejo Studio writes, I saw create in the mod list for Vault Hunters. I have create mod, but I don't think I have not built anything with it yet, and I don't think I'm at the point in the tech tree where I could mine efficiently with it. I think I'm faster just going straight through with a bunch of torches and this big hammer, looking for a vein of chromatic iron. Nothing wrong with a good mining session. Can says, diagonal camera goes hard. Yeah, it rotates every time a dollar rolls in. 1 degree angular per dollar. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Dun, 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 dun. The thing is, I already had a bunch of caffeine to get me ready for this stream, so I'm not quite ready to go to bed yet. Unlike where Badger is, it's not quite 4 a.m. here in the United States. Is there anything up this way I want to be lighting up or be aware of? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, down here, is there any chromatic iron? Oh, yeah, this is one of those weird cave system things. You can go light this up, and then does it lead anywhere, or is it just a dead end? Doesn't really look like it leads anywhere. That's not chromatic iron, that's like fluorine. Just looks like it. Fool's chromatic iron. More fluorine. Because chromatic iron only has like 4 gems in it. That's how you can tell. And that's diamonds. I guess we can pick those up. Is there any chromatic iron in this part of the cave system? There's a creeper over there. What about, can we arrow him? There we go. So how does that connect? Oh, that creeper was like right here, it looks like. Lava there. Good to be aware of. But yeah, okay, so no chromatic iron in this cave. Which way did we come in? We came in from back up there. Some of you guys are saying the most basic drill contraption setup would just require some drills, a card assembler, and super glue. It isn't that far in the base in the tech tree of the mod. Well, the rotational force required to move it might be. I don't know. I haven't built like a create mod power source or anything yet. Like I literally just got the mod and I haven't had the chance to build anything with it. Dun, 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 dun. Do. Where are we on the world map? Okay, apparently it's nighttime and we are now way up here. I think we started down here. So yeah, we're gonna be getting into some other biomes soon. That's promising. Oh, and I hear a cave. Hear a skeleton up ahead. It's always a good sign. Skeletons love chromatic iron. More diamonds, let's all take those, and then also some gold. It doesn't hurt. Looks like there's a big old lava pool up there. I can hear it from here. We don't want to mine directly into the lava pool. But we can enter the cavern here. Oh, this is that big lush cave. Is this the same big lush cave? It's hard to say. It is hard to say indeed. Is there any chromatic iron here? Oh, it's a Guppy Geyser lush cave. I like that. It's just dead fish flopping around. Just don't know they're dead yet. Okay, so iron. Uh-oh. Let's go get in that water real quick, just as a treat. Also grab that mixture here. Yeah, that's a nice one to have. Now we're getting way too high up here for there to actually... Whoops. Oh, baby spiders. Don't love that. Okay, we don't want to hang out by that spawner. Okay. So we're too high up now for sure to actually get any... I hear something moving, and I don't love it. There it was. Found it. I was going to say, we're too high up here to get any actual... what do you call it? Chromatic iron. So we really need to go back down that way. Yep, that's right. Any chromatic iron in here? Special spawner thing. Nothing really promising here. Hi, Jevin raiding with a party of 102. Welcome, Jevin Raiders. We just wrapped up reading the second stave of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. So if you see that in the stream title, you're like, ooh, when are you going to read Charles Dickens? Well, we are reading Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol in 4 parts, starting at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time every day between yesterday and Christmas Eve. So come back at 8:30 tomorrow, and we'll be reading the 3rd chapter, the part with the Ghost of Christmas Present, with special guest Mr. Hardluck as the Ghost of Christmas Present. But yeah, we just wrapped up Stave 2, and so now I'm doing some quick mining before bed. Thank you, Jevin, for the raid. I hope you had a fantastic stream tonight. What did you get up to playing? What do you play when you're not on Hermitcraft? I actually don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a Jevin stream that wasn't a Hermitcraft stream. What was Jev playing there? Because, yeah, we are on the Hermitcraft Vault Hunter server right now. I was just looking for some chromatic iron, and I stumbled into this huge lush cave and got kind of distracted because I'm easily distracted. You know, whatever. That's fine. Yeah, we were going to go back to where... This was our tunnel down here that we started in. And I figure we're just going to have this... Day 1 of hardcore, you did a raid and got 4 totems. Fantastic. Sounds like fun. Oops. I'll go ahead and get some lighting in this tunnel here. One of the problems that I run into in this mod pack is there's a resource called chromatic iron that looks almost exactly like this stuff, but is not this stuff. This stuff is like fool's chromatic iron. It's called like fluorine or something. Deep slate fluoride ore. Urgh, terrible. Garbage. But yeah, so I end up having to mine and explore quite a bit to find more of that ore. Okay. Whoops, that was the wrong tool to use for that. We got our hammer here so we can mine a 3x3 path as we go. I'm starting to run... Wait, hold on. Is this it? No, what was that? That was... osmium ore, which also looks a lot like what I'm looking for, but isn't what I'm looking for. Dang it. Welcome, Rose Wolf. Jill Jackson says, did y'all announce the end of the season? Yep, we did. The season wrapped up, what, I guess 2 days ago now? And I still have a lot of Hermitcraft episodes worth of footage I need to edit. I just haven't gotten to it. So, yeah, unfortunately, this time of year, I've only got my daughter for the first half of Christmas break. And so it's hard for me to justify spending a bunch of time editing now when she's going to be off to her mom's house after Christmas. It's like, well... So, yeah. I'm sitting on a ton of Hermitcraft footage, not because I want to sit on it, but because I'd rather take my daughter fun places at the moment. Welcome, Emperor Vorthan. Glad you could join us. Okay, we got some diamonds up here. We can harvest those. Oh, more diamonds. Even more diamonds. What a diamond vein this is. Huh. Starting to run a little low on torches, which is not my favorite. Oh, we got 2 more here. Good for me. Wow. Do we have any... We haven't really gathered coal because we're so low. Unfortunately, diamonds aren't really super useful in modded compared to vanilla. Lapis is always nice, though. It's a pretty blue, and you can make cool stairs out of it in modded. Do. Whoso writes, Joe, can you join my server to play? Nope, I cannot. I have far too many constraints on my time as it is, as I was just saying. But thank you for the offer. Okay, see, this is more of that osmium nonsense, which we don't need. I hear a bat. I think we're about to hit a lava tube here. Okay. I hear the lava. Sounds like the lava is that way. You can kind of see it on the map there. And it looks like there's a tunnel up ahead we're about to hit too. Let's throw another torch in there for right now. People keep telling me this particular ore isn't supposed to be hard to find, and that I'm probably doing something wrong. But it's really hard for me to find. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I refuse to accept that I'm doing anything wrong. Okay, I hear monsters, and I'm out of torches. So, what are my options in terms of light sources? Do I bring anything else that generates light? Do we have to turn back? No, doesn't look like it. I mean, I guess we could bring some... We could just use some deep slate redstone. Just be like... It's probably not the most effective way to light a room. Whoops. Stepping on that. Okay. Oh, we just found a huge cave, though. You sure there's no chromatic iron in here? Yeah, that's right. Eat lightning. It's like being now completely out of torches. Wrong kinds of ore. Wrong kinds of ore. That's fluorite. Oh, hey. Diamonds. Light, firebolt. Okay. Nope, not today. Nope. Healing. Creeper there. Oh, come on. I heard him hit the creeper. Okay, so here's the problem, is I don't remember exactly where I came in. It was somewhere vaguely around here. I keep hoping I'm just gonna stumble onto a chromatic iron vein. Because you want to do a mix of just, like, mining like I just did and exploring, like, low-level caves. This is a low-level cave, but I'm not seeing a single chromatic iron. The problem with chromatic iron is it comes in huge veins, and so you can spend forever looking for one. Oh, I was gonna say, I can't find the way I came in because I lit the way I came in with redstone, and I'm not stepping on the redstone block anymore. There it is. There's the block I came in on. Okay, well. Fluorite. Ow, my ceiling. More fluorite. Dang it. I mean, one option I have is I could, like, hit the wall each time I get to a torch just a few times here. Nothing. Boo. I mean, we need lapis anyway. It's great, but yeah. Its goal strategy is use a huge hammer with immortality and destroy huge sections underground. I mean, in fairness, that's what we've been doing. I mean, I don't know if this hammer has vanilla immortality. Yeah, 13% vanilla immortality. But what I really need to do is get a extra hammering gem on this. The problem is, now that I'm level 35, I'm ready to build a new hammer, and so I'm trying to save my extra hammer-sized gems for that one. Wait, that's osmium again. Boo. Okay, so where did I come in? I think I came in back here. Ish. Or... Uh-oh. Did I come in... Yeah, I came in this huge shaft here. Spider climb. Whoops. If the elytra is engaged when I hit the wall, it causes problems, unfortunately. Okay, so where's the next part of the shaft here? Okay. Oh, hey, there's coal. Wait. Fortune pickaxe. Okay, how much coal is that exactly? In toto. 56. That's not bad. Okay. Okay. So, how many logs did we bring though? I think none. So in terms of sticks, we would still have to go back down to where we had a oh, like here's a thing made of sticks. We could grab these sticks here. Black Lotus. Enchanted book with Luck of the Sea. Okay. Sure. Why not? And now we're in the spider webs. Okay. So let's go back down now that we've got enough stuff to make a non-trivial, hopefully, amount of these torches. Yeah, 48 times 4, 64 and change. Then we can take these logs here. Make another... Okay, so we're up to 2.5 stacks of logs. Which is not bad. Oh, there's another coal. We can even practice placing one of these blocks. Or torches. Boom, there we go. Okay, we're more likely to find more wood down there than we are to find more coal. So let's grab some of this and be on our way back out. Okay, back down. Where did I come in? I came in up here. Okay, so at negative 39 now. Okay, now we are at negative 53. Let's look at the map. One thing we haven't tried is going really far to the right here, to the east. Maybe let's try going east. See how that goes for us. No vein mining? No. Different hermits are specializing in different parts of the mod pack, and I'm not specializing in vein mining, so other people can focus on that for their episodes. It's just a courtesy thing, really. You know, it gets boring if all the hermits are making episodes about the same parts of the mod pack. Hey, no, I'm doing well, thank you. Mahi says that they found a large vein at certain coordinates on this seed. I feel kind of weird about having somebody who has, like, found a vein using the seed telling me where to go. I don't know. Like, that just, like, I feel like, because I wouldn't pull up, like, if there was a tool where I could type in the seed, like a website, and it would show me, hey, here's coordinates of a vein, I wouldn't feel comfortable, like, using that. And this feels kind of like that. Just because you play on a server with the same seed doesn't mean that I should take coordinates from you. Especially because, and here's the other thing, though, is if you were like, oh, Joe, you're actually right next to one, just go over, like, 5 blocks and you'll hit it, I'd be more okay with that. But like, these coordinates you're providing me are 4,000 blocks away. Like, that, I would never have gone and looked there myself, you know what I mean? Big Papa House says, mightn't there be chromatic iron where the vault stone was? Why? Did chromatic iron and vault stone spawn together? Would there be more likely to be chromatic iron here? Diamonds. Big Papa House says, I guess not, sorry. Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh yeah, the face camera is in the upper left. We're rotating 1 degree angular for each dollar that comes in. Rational says it's no more likely there than any other spot. Okay. That's fine. Whoops, that was the wrong tool for the job there. Welcome, Golden Tetrapod. Glad you could join us. I'm just going to swap this to slot 3 so I can use my muscle memory to open it. Okay, according to the world map, we are still in like a snowy biome here. I'm really wondering if maybe just this particular biome is terrible for chromatic iron or what. Oh, I keep using the wrong one on the... Do I have a cave augment? I do, but that doesn't guarantee a chromatic iron room is the problem. I've used the cave augment before and not ended up with a chromatic iron room. More of that. Janky Reef says, I've done a lot of chromatic iron mining lately. It's extremely rare, but the veins are big. Yeah, that's the thing, is if we hit a vein, we'll be set for a while. Like the last one I hit, I was good for weeks. Have I thought of increasing the hammer size? Yes. The thing is, though, I just hit level 35, like vault level 35, and so that unlocks a new type of hammer, but I need chromatic iron to make the new type of hammer, and so I'm saving my +1 hammer size gems for when I can make the new hammer. Oh, thank you, Cave Noise. The cave noise is this way. Should we go explore it? Your mobs. Not a huge room. Diamonds. That looks like fluorite over there, unfortunately. Yeah, fluorite. Oh boy, it looks like we've actually managed to almost start filling up some of this stuff. Should probably be grabbing things into here. Yeah, this double stack thing has been pretty nice. How's this one going? Also pretty full. Okay. That's super safe. You can increase your chromatic iron ore with grinding wheels once you make them. Well, I mean, doesn't my fortune pick already give me extra? Because I always use my fortune pick on the chromatic iron ores. And I've got fortune 5, so I think that would be better than the grinding wheel, wouldn't it? Yeah, we've gotten 61 diamonds since we started. Just to give you a sense of how rare this chromatic iron is. I think we're going to wrap up on the half hour. It is almost 10:30 here in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're going to go ahead and do last call for tips. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. It'd be nice to end the stream with a bunch of ore in hand, but that's okay if not. Whoa. Hey, there it is. That's what we were looking for. How are we for inventory space? Look at that, chromatic iron ore. So just for example's sake, how much do I get from one with a fortune pickaxe? 3. So that's better than doubling, right? Okay. So hopefully this is a large vein here. Okay, we want to make sure we get the whole height of it. Okay. Oh, you're saying I could take the ore and put the ore through a grinder. Or like after I've silk touched it, I put it through the grinder to double it. Interesting. Well, we did just get like 128. That's a decent amount, especially considering we're about to then silk touch it. So yeah. Whoa. Almost got into some trouble there. Okay, where did I come in? Was it here? Ooh. Oops. Spider climb, get me hung up there. Dash. Whoa. Wait, was that... Hold on. Did I fly past something? No, that was osmium. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was osmium. Yeah, it was definitely osmium. Okay. Yeah, that's where that was. Just grabbing some of this other stuff like lapis we might need later. Tough, whatever. Okay, so the entrance back up somewhere, I think is where that water is. Yeah, that's the way back up. Because this is a very organized way to get out of here. The elytra does not play nice with that yet. More fluorite there. I hate it. Dang it. I gotta, like, the spider climb and the elytra fight each other. And it's really frustrating. I wish they would not. Okay, now I'm back up to here. Okay, and then... waiting for the mega jump to come back. Chugging a potion to get mana quicker. We'll just walk up this last bit. There's no rotational force required for a minecart contraption? Really? That's cool. Okay. $600 blocks back to my base. That actually worked way better than I was hoping. I was gonna turn around at 10:30 either way. But got that just in time. Bum, 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 bum. Lay your head down and breathe. Okay. Yeah, I don't think with this batch it's worth it to build the grinder or whatever. I mean, at least not for the amount that we need to make our next batch of tools and stuff. I don't know. Let me look at this real quick. Chromatic iron. So if we have raw chromatic iron, and we want to see what we can, so we can put that in there to get 2 chromatic iron dust, and then we can blast it or smelt it to get iron bars. Use a smelting gem. I mean, it would be nice to double my output here. Especially considering how much of a pain it is to find those things. But for right now, I think part of the problem is we just need to... Oh, wow, that's way more than I need right now. For right now, we just need to make enough of this that we can go and build some chromatic iron vaulterite tools. And then start gemming them up. So, here's what I'm thinking for that. If we take these 4 blocks here and we cook those, that should hold us over. Let's also real quick check on the black market table. A lemon, a vault crystal. How much do I even have? 274. Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna really... Ooh, a wooden infused catalyst. It's always great. A wand for 766. Yeah, I don't really care about this stuff at this point. Okay. So, I think it is time. The grinding wheels need a 5x5 mechanical crafting grid to make. I don't think I can... How do you get a 5x5 mechanical crafting grid? Is that an auto crafter or... Because the thing is, like, if I search for the create mod stuff... like... Like, I don't think I can... I think the mechanical crafting grid, if that's considered an auto crafter, that's going to be, like, locked behind other stuff. Check the recipe for the grinding wheel. Is it the crushing wheel? Crafting 3x3. I don't think... I think I could just make this in a normal crafting bench. I can make 2 of them with a 5x5 crafting grid, or I can make 1 of them in a normal crafting grid. So why wouldn't I just make 2 of them in a normal crafting grid and save myself a lot of trouble? That looks like easier. Yeah, because this way I would get 2 of them. But I would need, like, granite and acacia planks and a bunch of andesite alloy, which is... This one I just got polished vault stone and some andesite alloy. I probably should cook some polished vault stone, though, right? Is that how you get it? No. How do you get polished vault stone? Smelting vault cobblestone. Oh, so I have to turn the vault stone into vault cobblestone and then cook. It's fine. Okay. We'll come back and do that another day. So. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember, tomorrow we are coming back to read part 3 of A Christmas Carol, featuring Mr. Hardluck as the ghost of Christmas present. We had BadgerSpanner on tonight. I am going to pull up my Twitch directory and see... Let's see. It looks like I think Manu's taking... Oh, no, Manu is watching Santa Claus Conquers the Martians tonight on MPT3K. So we're going to /read MPT3K. When you get over there, our raid message is howdy, y'all. Joe Hills raid here. And until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Waiting for the raid to open. Stop.